I did not know people are doing so many things for a simple problem. Azure Resources export to Excel or CSV. It is one of the most easiest thing to do. Yet I saw many friends in my customer organizations are taking absolutely difficult steps. Some are writing PowerShell scripts, some are writing command line scripts, some are searching for third party paid tools and whatnot. In this video, I will show how can you solve this universal problem of export to CSV, export to Excel of Azure resources. Welcome all to my YouTube channel Azure Beyond Demos. I am Kunal Chandratre and let us just start on how can you export to Excel Azure resources without writing a single line of code. Let us start with the first scenario where we will export all Azure resources to CSV. Let's go to Azure portal. This is my Azure portal and I want to export all Azure resources. So I will click on the menu on the left hand side and here you will see option for all resources. Click on this and all the resources will be listed over here. As you can see, I have approximately 239 resources in my subscription. How do we export? Very simple. Just click this button, export to CSV, and that's it. You're done. So all your resources will be here exported into CSV. Let's move to the next part. Next point, everyone's favorite. Let's export Azure VMs. I am on the Azure portal. In the search box, type virtual machines, and then you get the virtual machines view. Now here, if you want all of them, just simply click on export to CSV and you're done. Now, if you see my view, the private IP addresses are not shown. Let's say I want to export with private IP addresses as well. So what we need to do is click on manage view, click on edit columns. In this, all the columns that are possible to add will be listed. Click on add column and here in this drop down, search for private IP addresses and then save. And now you can see all the private IP addresses for all my VMs is being shown. Now if you export, this particular column will also be present in your exported CSV. Let's move to the next. Third point is about public IPs. In most of the cases, we want to see if there are any public IPs which are not static, which are not associated to any resource, and you want to delete them or manage them, then that can also be exported to CSV. Let's see that. On Azure portal, I will search for IP addresses and I will select public IP addresses. And now here I will click on manage view and I will add a column called as associated. That's the second one. And I say save. Right. So you can see there are few IP addresses which are not associated to any of the resources, and there are few associated to load balancer, NIC. If I want to check if there is any skew, uh, maybe whether it is standard or basic, that also you can add. So just go to here, edit columns, and click on add column. Here we can select the skew and then save. So if you have any basic public IP addresses, those will be listed. Like I have one, this one that you see here. This is the basic IP address. Then just click on export to CSV and you're done. Let's move to next. Now let's try to export virtual networks with DNS and address space information. I will search for virtual networks on Azure portal and here is a list. Now I want to see the DNS server and the address space. So manage view, add column, then here I will search for DNS server and I will also add the address space and then save. And then just use export to CSV and you're done. Let's move to next. By using the same steps that I have shown you, you can use NSG list export, route table export, and for that matter, any resource type export to CSV using the same method. With this, let's move to the next part, wherein let's talk about some app services view. Now, what I want to do is whenever I go to app services on Azure portal, there is a default view that is available. Now, what if I want to have the view of app services saved with the columns that I like or I want to view? Let's do that. Search for app services, and the view that you see on my screen is the default view. Now, let's say I want to add the column of, let's say, pricing tier. So I will select pricing tier over here, okay, and then just save it. Okay, now this is visible. Now let's say this is default one, but I want to create the one that is very specific to me. So what you can do here is you can go here and click for save view as, and you can name it as my app services view and save. Now if you, after saving this, if you again expand manage view, you will see that your view is also visible. So the default one, which is by default given to you, and then once you add all of your columns, you can have your own view saved, and then it shows you different columns based on your choice, which again you can of course export to CSV. Let's move to the next. Let's say I want to filter the resources and then I want to export to CSV. Example, let's take an example of storage. So I have all these storage accounts. Now, if you can see on my screen, the type of storage account are V2 and few of them are V1. So eventually I will have to migrate these V1 storage accounts to V2. Now let's say I want to export the list of storage accounts which are only V1 and send it to my upgrade team or administration team, who can then act on upgrading these storage accounts. So in that case, you click on add filter, select option here as type, and then you will see that this is, sorry, not type, select option here as kind, sorry, again my bad, kind, and then select here as only the V1 accounts and then apply. And then you can see that only V1 type of storage accounts are here, V2 are gone, and now you can export this to CSV. On the similar lines, you can add another filter called as replication type and check if there are any storage accounts which are not GRS, okay, so that if it's a production one, then I might consider to do it as a GRS. Now these are the LRS, and then possibly I can send this to my admin team to migrate this to GRS. With this, all right, so thank you so much. I hope export to Excel or export to CSV is not a great deal. It's very easy in Azure portal. With this, see you soon, all of you, and have a nice day.